Hello everyone, this is like my 50th attempt at recording this video. All the previous times I failed because I wrote a script and I couldn't read it. I'm like really bad at reading scripts. It sounds so unnatural and I wasn't proud of it at all. And it pisses me off, so I decided I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna scratch all of that, start from zero, no script. Shit, my microphone was the other way around, but whatever. At first, I wanted to tell everything from the beginning to the end, the entire process of how I got to this point, but turns out it's very repetitive. It sounded extremely boring. I just said, this guy built this, it took him this long, and I was proud. Then this guy built that, it took this long, I didn't like it, but whatever. It's incredibly boring. I hated it. And I think it's gonna be better to explain why I'm telling this story right now. I started this project out of fascination. I've always had a thing for when huge amounts of people on the internet get together and do something amazing. And since I don't really have a way to gather too many people that have the same passion for things like these and are willing to help me work on it, I decided the best thing I could start with is a GD collaboration, since that is one of the few cases where people do this a lot on their own, unlike most of the things I'd want to do at one point in the future. So I gathered people and organized the whole thing through GD Amino. I made a post and the concept of a collab without rules seems to strike a chord with people, and I assume this is for two reasons. For one, it's because it's something new obviously, and two, because most people probably don't believe that they have the skill to participate in like a collab, and they might be scared of letting others down, and that isn't really a problem here since I have no standards. It's okay to be bad because that's almost the point. The first pleasant surprise caused by this is the fact that I at first got about 25 people who were willing to collaborate with me, and then I think another 8 who joined the queue in the process. So before we even placed the first block, I was going into this with a very positive attitude. Of course, not everyone who joined was as much into it, so there were a few people who I had to skip because they weren't willing to cooperate, and that made me lose some time, and in the end it was probably the reason that this collab died for a few months. I started it in December, and in August was when the last part was finished. Then out of the people, I couldn't find anyone else who was responding within like an acceptable time period. They either didn't respond at all or it took them like a month. And since a few days ago was the 1-year anniversary of when I started, I looked back at what we managed to do, and turns out one thing I completely missed is the fact that there were several people in the collab who, despite the fact that nothing has been happening for like half a year pretty much, they kept coming back. They kept making comments like, "Hi, I'm still hyped, I'm waiting to see how the level turns out." I am getting these comments to this day, and it makes me feel guilty that I let them down. And I want to fix that today. I want to revive this collab, make it better than it ever was, and get it to the state of being finished, which it is so close to. Of course, since there are no rules, it is allowed to overwrite other people's parts, so it is always possible to like get more people to make their part, but they don't necessarily have to overwrite someone else's part. They can also add Easter eggs in the forms of maybe secret alternative paths. I believe there is always something to add, but even if not, I want to at least cover the whole song. There are still a few empty bits, maybe like half a minute in total out of the 4.5 minutes, which is how long the song is, I believe, or something like that. Because getting it finished is the least I can do to make it up to the people who were here with me the whole time. I'll try my best to come up with something else as well that I can do in order to apologize. But for now, the collab is open. I'll show what the level looks like so far in a bit. If you're interested in joining, you can DM me on Discord. If it turns out people are actually interested, I'll probably make a second video on the history of this level, which is what this video was supposed to be, but it was so painfully boring for a general audience, with the exception of the select few who aren't here just to see how this level turned out of curiosity. In case this video gets no responses whatsoever, it will at least serve as like an update to the people who have participated already. And here's the level. Keep in mind that it's a joke level, right?